want to talk to you today a little bit about dignity, about your own sense of dignity. So I'll start with a question. How much does your dignity cost? Want me to give you a little time to figure that out? Do you have a calculator? I can wait. How much does your dignity cost? Now, maybe to you that sounds like a strange question, perhaps even a little offensive. I mean, isn't dignity something inside you? Something that involves doing the right thing rather than what you actually want to do? Something your mother was convinced you'd lose when you joined that frat in college. In other words, isn't dignity something money can't buy? Maybe. Here's what Adam Smith thought. If you don't know anything about him, well, you should. This is a video series from a business school. Adam Smith was an 18th century economist. He's kind of like the Moses of free markets, and the Wealth of Nations are his two tablets. Smith covered all kinds of things in these books, but I want to talk about everybody's favorite topic, taxes. Smith thought that you should pay taxes in proportion to your income. But when he was writing, it wasn't exactly easy to figure out how much money people made, not unless they told you. And you know, lying on your taxes is hardly a modern innovation. So Smith thought sales taxes were the way to go. For he figured that the more you purchased, the more you probably made. Not an unreasonable assumption, right? But Smith didn't want to tax all types of things. He left out what he called the necessaries of life, or what we today call basic necessities. Now, here's where things get a little tricky. By basic necessities, Smith didn't mean the very minimum you need for food, shelter, and clothing. He included the kind of things that he said, and I'll quote him here, the established rules of decency have rendered necessary. Well, what did he mean by that? Take shoes. You don't absolutely need shoes. Human beings have been going around for 200,000 years, and for most of that time, people got along just fine without anything covering their feet. You could. Seriously. I mean, you wouldn't die if someone took away your shoes, even those terrible sneakers your girlfriend hates. And keeping you from dying is typically what we think of when we talk about basic necessities. Okay, so you wouldn't die if you couldn't afford shoes. But how would you feel if you had to go around town in your bare feet? Pretty terrible, right? And not because your feet would hurt, they might a little, you'd get over it. But because of the way people would look at you, walking around your neighborhood or riding the subway, just flashing your toenails for everybody to see. So as you can see, your own sense of dignity isn't exactly free. It costs something to support, at least the price of a pair of shoes. But will just any shoes do? I mean, can you grab the first pair you see on the rack at Payless, or do you need a particular color or brand or style? And how many pairs do you need? Maybe just the basics, black and brown. And a pair of tennis shoes, of course. Or maybe just a pair of matching shoes for every outfit. But then how many outfits do you need? I mean, one just won't do. You can't be expected to wear the same outfit every day. I mean, you'll need a new pair of jeans for that big date on Friday night. A jacket too. But how will you get there? Ride the bus? Yeah, right. You'll drive, so you'll need a car. And valet service, you'll definitely need valet service. And we haven't even gotten to the meal yet. You'll have to get a bottle of wine, and not just any bottle of wine, but one that shows that you have taste, that you can afford to have taste. How about a 2006 Chateau Lafite? I mean, sure, it's no 2010, but hey, you're not made of money. And a 2010 Chateau Lafite, well, that's a real luxury. 2006, that's totally respectable. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Nothing at all. As Adam Smith understood, what our dignity requires is largely a matter of custom, and custom by definition varies across age groups and classes, time and place. Even in a single life, it can change immensely. Think about the first place you ever went to on a date, or your favorite earrings when you were a teenager, or your first apartment after you graduated. Even if you look back fondly on these things, if you feel like you need more today, that you wouldn't be satisfied or happy with what you used to have, your own sense of dignity has changed. And that change, well, it costs something. Maybe the price of a few more shoes, or a better car, a nice bottle of wine with dinner, or a designer handbag or two. None of these things are free, not by a long shot. And to get them means you have to make trade-offs, say how much you work, or who you work for, or how much time you get to spend with your kids. And who knows, it may be that no matter how much you strive, no matter how hard you work, you simply can't afford the dignity you long for. It always seems just out of reach. And when that happens, you may find yourself thinking about trade-offs you would never have made before. Take Rajat Gupta. In 2002, he was the head of McKinsey. 12 years later, he was in a federal prison for insider trading. In between, he told a group of MBAs to be wary of the sense of dignity he was struggling to maintain. Money is very seductive, he told them. You have to watch out for it because the more you have it, you get used to comforts, and you get used to, big houses and vacation homes and going and doing whatever you want. And so it is very seductive. However much you say you will not fall into the trap of it, you do fall into the trap of it. As Gupta found out, the dignity trap is one we tend to set for ourselves and one we step into quite willingly. And so I'll ask again, what does your dignity cost? And how much do you intend to pay for it?